Okay, got it. We are on. It looks like Charlotte is the only one missing. And then Sandra Melvin is working today, so I wanted to just provide it as a recorded version for her, for sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay.
Okay. So Brooke is here to talk to us about, well, this is kind of our gold. You guys have all ranked gold and are working for gold and beyond, actually. And so Brooke has some tips that she wants to share with us about how do we keep really good track of our points? How do we keep track of our back office? You know, how do we own it from day one rather than day 28 when we're desperate for those freaking points, right? And then we're scrambling to fix our white lines and throwing money at them like crazy. And so Brooke, with her expertise, is going to share with us how we can attack that early on and just own our back office like bosses.
Yes.
I'm going to let you take it away, Brooke, unless there's something else you want me to say.
No.
Okay, I want to honor their time.
I think that one of the first things, and I'm going to get her set up with a little snack here. One of the first things I think is to approach it with a plan. Just like anything in life is, if you have a plan and you execute that plan, sometimes we call it a system, but if you have a system or a plan in place, then things turn out in a different way than if you didn't. And so I've always tried to operate my business, except I got out of the habit for a while because everything is a habit, but I've always tried to operate my business like a business. And in a business, that means in the beginning of the month, I would make a plan and I would start executing it. And all throughout the month, I would be executing that plan. And so I think the number one thing would be to create a plan, like now, if you don't have a plan, and then just start executing it. And then there isn't as much like desperation. Is that what you said, Phyllis? There isn't as much desperation or worry or fear that things aren't going to work out when the plan is executed. One of the things that I often share with people is that in the beginning, when I started my business, I could almost like within 5% say exactly where my points would be the very next month because of retention. And I feel like retention is something that is just really what we need to focus on right now because, you know, when I started and even still now, I'm super passionate about these products. I know you guys are too. I know you have a story with the products and so it all goes back to that. And so I was such a stickler for the products and being so passionate about them that I like literally would not let somebody quit before 90 days. Like it was like almost impossible for them to quit if I sponsored them or I was helping their sponsor them quit before 90 days. Because I just knew that the products were good for them. I knew that the products were going to help them if they were consistent on the products. And so I think you have to kind of shift your mindset as well that these people came to you for help. They were struggling with an issue. And what happens is when somebody wants to quit, typically we get afraid or we don't want to offend them or we're worried we need to maintain the relationship. And if we say something to them or we try to hold them to a standard that actually helps them, that we are not, you know, that we're like maybe going to damage our friendship or whatever that might be. I don't believe that has to be the case. It's kind of like having kids, right? Like if you had a child that really needed something or a child that like was going to do something that was very harmful to them, wouldn't you do anything that you could possibly do to get that child to like understand why something was a good choice or to get that child to understand like why they shouldn't stop doing something that was good for them? And I'm not saying that your people you sponsor are your children, but it's taking that perspective of I'm interested in their greater good and my discomfort over having that conversation or holding them to, you know, a level of accountability because they told me they wanted this goal. My level of discomfort is insignificant. It doesn't matter. What matters is that this person gets results and they feel good. And so I think making that shift would be really helpful if that's something that you struggle with. And it starts with expectations, you know, when they order their products, and within like the first week, the first month, like being in contact a lot the first month, and then also just being really realistic with the expectations on their products, so that they know that where they're starting is just a starting point, and they may end up actually going to different products throughout the course of their Plexus journey. This is also where I kind of like to talk about the $1.99 packs, which we've talked about a lot. They tend to be the ones that we give a great incentive on. Just to put things into perspective, if I'm talking to somebody about a $1.99 pack, so all 10 people I signed up last month all had a $1.99 pack, all of them. And they aren't like necessarily loaded people, but every single one had a $1.99 pack. I can't offer any bigger discount than you guys offer, because when you guys offer a discount, it's stackable. When I offer a discount, it's just out of my pocket, cha-ching. Mm-hmm. So I don't go like crazy ridiculous with the discounts. It might be like $20 off a $1.99 pack. And so when I think about that, I try to help them understand a regular triplex is $119.95. It's $120. Like that's the wholesale cost, not the welcome pack cost. I tell them the wholesale cost is $119.95. And so for just this little bit more, you're getting like 4 or 5 additional products. And typically you could get 2 products for that price. So you're basically getting 2 to 3 products free. When I explain it that way, they self-select because I'm doing it over the phone. But the reason I love those packs is because when people get those packs, I don't end up with very many under 100 PV people. Like it just doesn't really happen, because they've tried a lot of different products and they like their Slim and their MetaBurn and their ProBio 5, even if they go off the BioCleanse because they thought, oh, I was pooping too much, even though they're taking 4 and you told them to take 1 or whatever. But there's enough other things that they're like, ooh, I feel really good on MetaBurn and X Factor, and I have great energy. And, you know, so it just is a shift in your mindset with that, and switching your expectations and shifting as much as possible to a $1.99 pack is going to change your retention for sure. Statistics show that people that spend more money when they sign up, they stick around better. They have better results. The retention is better. So I can't argue with statistics. Now, here's another thing to think about. Julia just came across this problem. She has a girl that's like on fire for sharing right now. She just went silver. Guess what? She signed up with a $99 welcome pack. So if you sign up with a $99 welcome pack, you're not eligible for the fast start bonuses unless you add 100 PV on top. Well, gosh, that's a shame to pay 100 PV for products, and you could have gotten it in a welcome pack for way cheaper. And so today's her last day. She's like scouring, looking for, you know, a customer, or she's going to have to place that order herself. And so we are really like, I know so many people tell us they're not interested in the business. They're not interested in sharing, but you're doing them a disservice if you don't sign them up with a $1.99 pack, because I was one of those girls too. And 7 days in, guess what? I shared and I signed 8 people up. If there had been a fast start bonus back then, I would have fast started silver. So think about all the different benefits and shift your mindset from the beginning. And I don't know, I just want to know, like, as I talk about this stuff, and I talked about like the analogy of being a parent and your child and wanting the best results for your kids, do you find yourself backing down? Ask yourself this question. Do you find yourself backing down? Do you find yourself pulling back? Do you find yourself afraid of having a real conversation with somebody about staying on their products or adjusting their products? Is that something that you struggle with? Yes? A little bit?
I think in the beginning, I think it's just natural in the beginning. You might struggle with, what do I say to them? How do I keep them going? But yeah. I think for me, where I'm at, if you're asking me, I would say no, I will fight. Just like you got to give me 90 days. Like, this is ridiculous. You cannot give up yet, you know,
right.
As I just call it the land of rainbows and unicorns, and that may be cheesy, but I mean, that's how I feel. It's like, you have no idea how good you can feel when you stick with it. And I would have to say that when I'm really just kind of like upfront with them like that and just say, I'm here to support you. We're going to help you. Like, tell me your symptoms. If they can really be specific about their symptoms, then I can help them, fix that, like, oh, that's clearly die-off. Okay, here's what we're going to do with the die-off, and
Right.
troubleshoot. And I tell them, my team is so big, over 900 people. There's not one person I cannot help get through this journey where you're at right now. I have 100% confidence that we're going to help you see those good results. So that's definitely how I approach it. Whether they still,
and the confidence just comes with time, right, Phyllis? Because you didn't start out confident like that. And so if you are someone that struggles with that confidence, know that as you push through and you help people, like, you will just have your system and you'll know, like, okay, this is what I say, this is what I do. But it really just starts with, like, I'll get on a voice message and I'll say, you know what, I really care about you. And I know that you came to me for this reason. And you told me you were going to stick with this for 3 to 6 months. And so let's work together. Let's go back to the drawing board of exactly what you're taking, when you're taking it, and let's change some things up if we need to. But the solution for you to feel better is not to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that, like, heartfelt message, like, we'll go back to the drawing board. The solution is not for you to quit. I know, in our discussions, you've quit on a lot of things in the past. This is not going to be something that we quit on, because I believe in you and I believe you can have results. So it just starts there. And then it's just a few mechanics of adjusting products. So always care enough to hold people to that standard. Now, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, what if somebody is saying, oh, I just absolutely hate this product? And, how quickly do you jump to saying, oh, well, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. Go ahead and you can get your money back for that. How quickly do you do that? Or how would you handle it?
I never talk about the 60-day money back guarantee with people. I really don't. Occasionally in the sign up process, but when they're going through die-off or struggling with something, that's like it's never a part of the conversation. I can't remember the last time I had somebody I signed up get their money back. And perhaps one of the things that was most beneficial to me, which you guys don't have the benefit of, is when I joined and when I started my business and when I went Emerald in 7 months, you know how long our money back guarantee was?
It was days, wasn't it? 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
You had 5 days from the time you got your product to return it. And so I built my business actually never talking about any money back guarantee. I got people to sign up and I got them to stay consistent on their products. And so you don't need a money back guarantee to sell these products. You don't need a money back guarantee to be successful in this business. In fact, it might be a crutch that's hurting you. Mm-hmm. So I just want you to understand that health is not a 60-day journey. Like, it's just not. Now, if somebody finds out about the money back guarantee or they see it on the bag, well, of course they can go and do that. And I'm not saying I've never had anybody, take advantage of a money back guarantee. It has happened in my career with Plexus, but it is such a rarity because people know that I am serious. I am serious about their health. And it doesn't mean I don't have people quit. At least half of my level ones have quit, at least half. But it doesn't mean I didn't try. And it doesn't mean they don't come back. One of my favorite stories right now is my friend Kathy. She joined me back in the beginning 3.5 years ago. She took the products for 6 months, but she, in retrospect, she started about a month ago. And in retrospect, she told me back then she didn't take accountability for other areas of her health. And this is a different time in her life. And now she's down 6 pounds in 2 weeks. And she feels flippin' fantastic. She rejoined me. And so people know what I am, they know what I believe in, and they know I'm not going to take any, I'm not going to take the excuses, but if they decide to quit, it's okay. They decide to quit. I still love them. They just know who I am. And so let people know who you are, that you care enough to care about them and give them some tough love. Okay. So that is retention. Now, the way that I also had really good retention is I was in my people's business. And primarily in the beginning, it was Emily Gibson. She and I were the first two to run together. And so I would get on a message, or I would get on a phone call, or I would get on a Zoom with somebody she had that was going to quit, that she was like, oh my gosh, they need this. We would get on the phone and talk for 15 minutes, like I was like, people are not quitting. And so I would do kind of like what Phyllis does, but you guys can do that for your team members too. I think a lot of what people need to hear, honestly, is just confidence and encouragement. They don't need you to be a science expert. They don't need you to be a nurse. They need you to be empathetic. They need you to listen and be like, yeah, that is so hard. It's so rough when your body is going through a healing crisis. There's kind of no way around it. But here are some things that you can do that will soften it. Like you're on the right track. I'm so proud of you for choosing your health. These are all things that I talk about. It's true, but like, it's such a natural thing coming out of me now because I've said it so many times. So you have to just put yourself in their shoes. Gosh, like, what do they really need? Do they need like a 10-page article on die-off? Or do they need me to just be empathetic, understand and listen and encourage them and help them see that once they wade through this muck and through this mud, things are going to be better. Like, that's really what they need from me. And it's that concept that I've talked about where you just like have to zoom out and then look in on them and what's going on in their life. And I am always the person that's asking, gosh, Kelly, tell me about what other stressors are going on in your life. And then I find out like they're getting divorced and they lost their job and like and then it's like I'm their therapist, but it's totally fine. Like I find out, come to find out they've been eating at McDonald's every single day or whatever. Like you find out things when you are willing to get personal. And then you're connected to people, and then they don't want to leave you because they know you care about them. And it's not that I'm everybody's therapist or I'm, but I will take the time to leave a 5-minute voice message instead of like a quick 2-sentence reply. 2-sentence reply, well, I'm just waiting for them to be gone, So people are worth it. That's what I would say, is that people are worth it. And it's worth that little bit of time. And I want people to have results with the products. The products changed my life. I'm not selling snake oil. I don't need to make money just by selling something. That's not why I'm doing this. I know that's not why you guys are doing this. So stand behind your product, stand behind your people. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that, is that you can improve retention. And the way that you can improve retention is every single Friday, or you pick a day of the week, you open up your virtual office, you see who's turned their subscription off. You get on the phone with them, or you talk to their sponsor and say, hey, let's call up so-and-so, or hey, let's get so-and-so in a message. You be that early intervention. If you wait until the end of the month, you're setting yourself up for failure. And you don't want to wait till the end of the month, because people start to get wise to that and they realize like, oh, it's the 28th of the month. They're contacting me, right? So start the discussion now. Start talking about maybe what product selections or changes you can make. Guys, when I started, we had basically triplex and X Factor, accelerator and boost. Okay. We had ease, but we didn't know about the glory of ease. And so we never promoted ease back then, but basically triplex X Factor. That's what I got my diamond team on. I didn't have all these other wonderful things. So we just have so many tools. Don't overlook the power of all the other tools that we have. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about your people and getting them to silver, and especially your new people. The other day in one of my leaders threads, Phyllis, I don't know if you saw all the voice messages and ideas that were going back in there, but we were talking about this idea of asking every new person or asking every ambassador that's consistently taking their products if they would be open to just hosting a small online event. Did you see that, all that stuff?
Yeah, I'd love to know a little more details about it, because I would be interested in it. I don't know enough.
Today I'm going to put together a template that's 12 posts. And on Facebook, you can host an event. Have any of you guys ever been invited to an event like an Usborne Books event or something like that on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
So an event is different than a page. An event is just like, it happens, it opens one day, it closes one day. Like or you can make it last a week, or you can make it last 3 days or whatever. But all it is, you know, you could ask your new people that are a little bit timid to maybe share on Facebook, or your people that you would love to help go silver. You can ask them if they would be open to hosting a small event on Facebook for you, a small virtual event. It's not a live event. It's a series of 12 posts that explain the products, that talk about gut health, and that share some stories of friends of yours that have had success on the products. And you're wondering if they would be willing to gather 5 to 10 friends to just check out the event. And what happens is you set the event up for, like, say 7 o'clock Pacific time on Thursday night. You can set up as many events as you want. That is the cool thing. And so you can go to every single new ambassador that you had last month on your team. You can have your team members go to them. You can go to your existing ambassadors and say, hey, you know, this month is my mission to help 25 more people get started on Plexus. And I know that the business doesn't really interest you, and I totally respect that. But I wonder if you would be willing to help me get the word out to maybe 5 or 10 of your friends about Plexus and what it can do for their health. I'm hosting these really small little events that happen virtually on Facebook. All you have to do is invite friends and get some confirmed yeses, and they'll be added to this event. It just happens over the course of an hour. There's 12 posts that go up. So they understand. I feel like you're acknowledging, like, hey, I know you're not really interested in this business, but I'm looking to help 25 more people, or whatever your number is this month, and hoping to help this many people get started. You know my story and why I love the product so much. I know you're loving them, or I know you're just getting started. I would love to have you have a couple friends get started with you, and I want to make this super easy for you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use verbiage. Like if they're brand new, I know you're just getting started, I want to make it easy for you to have some people to do this with you, to help you stay accountable to your health goals of losing 20 pounds, getting rid of your migraines, whatever their issue is. I always bring it back to their why. Do you see that? Always bring it back to their why, and me wanting to help them be successful. And so really all you would do is, if you go onto Facebook, you could just play around with this. You could click on events, click on create new. What we'll do is we will have a standard graphic that you'll put for the title box on the page, you know, the Facebook event page. And you'll just load that up. And then if you've never scheduled a post, you'll learn how to schedule posts. And so to schedule the post in the event, you'll just pretend like you're going to post the event. And then before you click post, you'll click schedule, and you choose the time. And literally you would just stack these 12 posts in an hour or in a half an hour, however you want to do it. Every 3 minutes, every 4 minutes, a post goes up. And it would be a really great, low impact, not scary way to get all of your new ambassadors to invite some friends to learn about what they're doing. Either that or asking them to get people on a Zoom. I feel like sometimes getting people on a Zoom is a little bit harder because it's a video conference, but in your Facebook event, you can have a live. So for example, you can go live, and you could even go live on a dual live with your friend that invited their people. If you don't know how to do a dual live, it's super simple, and I can send you a video on how to do it. And what I would recommend is that you actually try it out first. You would just try it out and see how it goes. Okay. But that would be just a fantastic way for you to kick off your event, would be to go live with your friend that is doing the event. And then basically that's what it is. It's like having a party, having a sip and see, but doing it virtually. So my desire was that we could actually pull this together, and everybody could have like a crazy amount of events going on Thursday, because everybody that joined last month, their new codes expire on the 15th. And so time is of the essence, and you could do an event or a series of events. Say you had 6 level ones that said, yeah, I'll do it. You're going to set up 6 events. Like, you're going to like go gangbusters with the events. And the cool thing is you get to schedule out all the posts. In fact, if you can't go live in everybody's page, you can make a video. and you can load up a YouTube link, right? Or if they're all at different times, you just put it in your planner and you do go live on each person's event. Maybe you do them tomorrow, maybe you do them Thursday, maybe you do it Saturday, maybe you do it Sunday. But we just have this storm of events where we're getting new people in, and it's not that wellness from within is not great, but when you do something like this for just one person, it gives them accountability. And they feel like, oh, I've got to get at least 5 people to say yes, you know? Whereas if it's like in a page of 2,000 people and they're brand new, they can just be like, well, I'll just be a fly on the wall and I'll just watch the event. They don't actually invite somebody. So, so I feel like if you could really embrace and grasp this concept, then it could be something that would blow your business out of the water. It's really just embracing anything. You decide what you're going to embrace. For a long time, we embraced the 7-day challenges and we ran with that like crazy. And that was our bread and butter. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. So I'm shifting it to maybe trying something new. But I feel like eventually we'll go back to 7-day challenges. Like, people just need variety, and we need to sometimes change up what we're doing a little bit. So what are your thoughts on that?
I like this idea. I think that would be great, because then it kind of takes away the excuses of, oh, I can't come to that sip and see, you know, but you could just say, hey, I would love for you to just watch this when you have time. It'll be open for the next 24 hours, or I'll have it up for a week. You know, I'd love to. And then it would create follow-up, like really good follow-up to say,
yes,
hey, you have a chance to look at my page yet today, or this event, you know I plugged you in. And yeah, so I like that.
What about you guys? Egan, Kelly?
Charlotte's on the phone.
Yeah, I think it's just different and foreign to me at this point in time, but it sounds like a great idea. So yeah, definitely. And I like the idea of scheduling it and leaving it up for like a few days. So it gives you that time for people who say, oh, I can't hop on at that time, but they can, look at it for the next few days, and then that creates that engagement to follow up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I could do is today when I'm creating it, I will create a mock event, and I will I'll invite you guys to the event. And it's just like joining a group. You get invited, and then you have to accept the invitation, because Facebook doesn't want people just being invited to all kinds of crap they don't want to be in. And so we follow the same process, screenshot the event, say, here it is, accept my invitation. So we teach our new people to send that picture and to send a specific verbiage. Like, we literally make it like we're feeding them, spoon feeding them. Okay, send this picture and this message to your friends that have said yes. And then they can just copy and paste it. So I'll make a mock event so that you guys can see how it happens. And basically an event has a start time. So you would set the start time according to whatever time zone they're in, whatever they feel like. If it's a mom with kids and they're like, they want to do it during the daytime, you set the start time for like 1 p.m. If it's somebody that lives on the East Coast, you're going to set it for a time that's appropriate for them. So it's really customizable for them and their network. And it's seriously just a series of posts. And you can run, the cool thing about it too, is you can run a specific special in it. So say, for example, it's your level 1, Egan and Rachel, and you're doing something specific for that level 1, your ending post can be like a call to action with a specific special that is just for them. So let's, I think the number one thing to doing that is just asking people now, then asking people today. And when we hop off of here, I can create a message that you would use to, oh, that is so funny. I have goldfish all over the floor. This is awesome. I love it. See, you know what would have happened? Let's see, how many years ago? 3.5 years ago, I would have lost my ever living mind, because I just didn't have any margin for like spilling milk. I used to yell at my kids when they would spill milk, like, the phrase, don't cry over spilt milk. I would cry over spilt milk. So this is why I'm so stinking passionate about these products, because I'm a nice mommy. So anyway, that is one idea. Second thing that I really want you guys to focus on is, and also, can you guys see how this would really rock duplication, and how this would become something that was like your team system? Like, great, you get somebody new signed up, You ask them, hey, you know, I know you're getting started. You don't know much about these products. I'm super passionate about helping other people get healthy. And I also really know, I know that 95% of people that don't start with any accountability don't reach their health goals. I want you to reach your health goals and help you to find some accountability partners. I have this really simple, you know, non-salesy informational event that's 12 posts long. Would you be willing to invite 5 to 10 people out to just check out this information? We can do it at a time that works for you. It's also open all throughout the week. There's no, you know, closing time, so they can join in whenever they want to. So can you see how this would help you to grow massively?
Yeah, Brooke, I like the idea for people that have been using their products for a long time but aren't sharing. But if they really like the products, like, who doesn't want to have help with paying for their products?
Exactly, exactly. So I just feel this fire in my bosom to like get this going, and for you guys to just really take hold of this and this become like a system, you know, welcome to our team, like this is what we do kind of a thing, because whatever becomes your norm is what people are going to expect. Like, oh, this is just what we do. We ask everybody to host a simple online event. Aside from that, I wanted to talk about your less than 100 PV people. And the less than 100 PV people are people that could do the same thing, guys. Your less than 100 PV people, they like their products. Maybe they take Slim, but they don't take anything else, but they love their Slim. They could host an event as well. Also, I love the idea, which I don't know if it was super clear in the video I made. Did you already watch my less than 100 PV video?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I made a video for Egan and Kelly, and I don't know if Charlotte watched it. I don't think the other ones had watched it, but I made a video on how to best work with less than 100 PV people. A lot of times we wait until we need them to order, and I want to kind of shift that methodology. And I'm not saying it's bad to do that. I mean, sometimes you really just are pushing for a goal and you're kind of down to the wire and you just need to incentivize somebody. But wouldn't it be fantastic if we had a solution for getting these people long-term above 100 PV? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
I think it would be so awesome. And so obviously one solution would be inviting them and asking them to host an event. Another solution is to create a little sample pack. So say you've got 10 people under you that just order Slim, or they just order, you know, a couple products and they're at like 95 PV, which I always want to hit my head against a wall with the 90 and above PV. But say you go and get the little clear cellophane bags from Walmart and you put 1 stick of Slim, 1 lean sample, 1 Joyome sample, 1 Kids Chewable sample. And that becomes your little sample pack. And you reach out to those people that have less than 100 PV and you say, you know, I'm so grateful that you love your products and what you're on currently. I have created these little sample packs, some samples of the products. And I wonder if you have any friends that would come to mind that maybe might want to try one of these sample packs. If you created those sample packs, it would cost you less than $5 per sample pack. I started implementing this with Sonia and Janelle already. If you guys know them, and they're getting yeses already. People are like, oh yeah, I could totally think of some people. And then I said, you take it a step farther and you say, great, you know, tell me a little bit about them. What are their names? Because you don't want it to be another thing that you just send to somebody and it sits on their counter, right? And so say you send them 3, you find out their names, and or the second option is you offer to send it to their friend. They've asked their friend if they want to sample it. Their friend says yes. You offer to send it to their friend. In the baggie, you put your card, but you cross out your website, okay, if you have a card, because you don't want them to order from your website. But you are the expert and you want to be the one consulting with them on what they should take, okay? So I do that. And then the thing that I had suggested was that you create like some kind of printable note card or something that goes on there that's just like a standard, you know, I'm excited for you to try these products, and a 2-sentence, this is what they've done for me. We have about 20 products to fit people's health needs, health and wellness needs. Feel free to contact me when you try this sample to give you more information. And so you just create something that goes in these packs, but these packs just kind of become standard. And you could use these to reach out to your less than 100 PV people. And like I said, I'm having people say yes to this. And so what will happen is you'll help them follow up with these people. You'll get connected with these people. You'll help them get 1 or 2 people started, maybe 3. And then guess what? They have 100 PV, or they've got 1 or 2 ambassadors under them, and magically they decide they're going to have 100 PV every month. And then you're helping them go silver. So it's another way of helping them to share, because instead of us taking this mindset of being embarrassed and not wanting to bother people, we're taking the mindset of, you know what? They already love some of the products. They're already taking some of the products. So how can I make it easy and approachable for them to share? These are the little investments in your business that pay off big over time. I invested like this in my business a lot in the beginning, doing little things like this that cost me a little bit of money and took me a little bit of time, but it was that extra thought that really worked. It's the idea of giving more than you get. And so if you can think of people that would work well for, awesome. The other idea with these little sample packs is, what if you had a new ambassador that you said, hey, I have these little sample packs. They cost you $5 a pop. You know, would you be willing to host a little simple online event? And I've got 3 little sample packs that you could send out to people. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I want you to start thinking about this, because if what you're doing right now is not working really super well, what do you have to do?
Change it up.
You have to find a new solution. And so my brain is always thinking, like, what is another solution? What is something else that's a low investment that could have a high yield, that could help with retention, that could help people to get results with the product? And you know, what is something that I could do instead of feeling stuck, instead of feeling frustrated, instead of making excuses, instead of saying this isn't going to work, instead of saying this takes forever? What I would do is I would be like, okay, well, what's a solution? How can I fix this problem that I have in my organization? How can I be more proactive? And the solution finders, instead of the excuse makers, are the ones that are successful. And by the way, when I say that, I'm not saying that you're an excuse maker. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you should feel incredibly empowered, because you can find a solution. Like, there's nothing that has to stop you from helping thousands of people, from being successful in this business. Nothing. If you can be a solution finder, you can create whatever you want to create. So those are the most. What's that?
Oh, I want to share this book that I'm reading right now, you guys. And it's like, I've highlighted the crap out of the first 4 chapters so far, but it's The Magic of Thinking Big. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's by David Schwartz. And, it is an easy read, like super easy, big words, short amount on the pages. And I almost want to do a book club about it, because it's great. So if anybody wants to do a book club with me on The Magic of Thinking Big, I'm all in. I'm doing a book club Wednesday night with Emily's team, actually. And the one we're doing this week, we're just starting it actually tomorrow night, is this one. It is called Business for the Glory of God, the Bible's teaching on the moral goodness of business. And I love it so far. And there was a card in here from a Duke University. He's from the Duke University. He's campus director for Campus Crusade for Christ. It's a used book, but he sent this book to one of his people who he thought could benefit from it. So I just thought, you know, if you're sitting there thinking, oh gosh, I can't make a bunch of money because I'm a Christian, and, you know, and that's not what we do. It's just kind of cool how we can say our business is really, like Brooke said, we're not doing it. I mean, yeah, the money's great. Don't get me wrong, but we're doing it because it's making lives better. It's changing people's lives. Like, that's still my core heart, my little heart that makes it beat, is helping people, helping fix people, helping them find an answer to their health and wellness concerns. And then in the process, we're finding abundance, right? We are getting blessed because we are being a blessing to others. So anyway.
Well,
I'm done.
The Proverbs 31 woman was a successful woman. The Proverbs 31 woman had lots of helpers, just like my post where I talked about mom guilt. And if you follow me on Instagram, I kind of shared on my story about this, getting help. And I think you guys know how I feel about money. I feel like there's a lot of shame sometimes around money and making a lot of money, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that whatever you do with your whole heart. Okay. So whether you're a doctor making a good living, you own a construction company, whatever you do it with your whole heart, and you do it to try to be the very best you can be at it. You do it to be excellent, because that's what God wants for us. He wants us to develop and be excellent in whatever we do, because our excellence matters. Our example matters. And if we can be wildly successful, we can do more with that success. We can inspire more people. We can give more. We can, it's just that's a thought that has to go to rest, for sure.
Right.
That's a thought that has to go to rest.
Yes.
And I know if you can embrace these systems and start putting some of these things in place, and then just being a little bit more bold and forward with people, and more care for them, even more, love them more, that you will be more successful in your business. I'm just so passionate about this, that you can be all in your business, not be all the time. Like Phyllis will tell you, she doesn't work all the time. There was a period of time where she was working all the time and she wasn't super happy. But if you get into your business and you be super, super focused in the time that you have and intentional with the time that you have, and you're doing these activities like getting people started early on, doing these little events, having a little inexpensive sample pack, like whatever these things, you're doing these things, you're going to start to see the multiplication. And then it becomes easier because you're not doing it all yourself. You have a team. You have a team that's growing, and they're learning your system, and they're duplicating the same system. So anyways, I don't know if you guys have any questions for me or other things that you want to talk about, but fire away if you do.
I just want to say something to you guys really quick too, while you think about something, or just hop on and ask your questions. But the other thing we were going to do, but at time's going long, but I just wanted you guys to know that I know how to do this now, is that I can dig through your back office, which I actually have already done one of your back offices, and I have numbers for you. I have numbers of where you're at right now and where you're going to end up at the end of the month, and how many people you need to rank up to the next level. And so I want to share it with you. And it's Kelly. Kelly, it's you, honey. I went through your back office. We dug through, and I know this girl wants Senior Gold this month, and we're going to get her there. And so I'm just screaming inside. But we have numbers, and they're below, but we're going to do it. Okay. And then Egan and Rachel, I'm happy to dig through your back office with you guys too. That gold video that I sent you guys, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but it was last Friday's gold meeting and above, right? That Brooke and Christy are doing every Friday. Brooke, how long are you guys doing that for?
We're doing a special 4-week series in April. It's all about taking ownership and raising awareness of your back office, how to deal with those things, how to rank up. Because I'm sitting here and I am not insane. I am not crazy. I promise you. Kelly, you can go Senior Gold. Egan and Rachel, you can go Ruby next month. I can look at your back office and I can see a way. And I can see a way to do it with integrity. I can see a way to do it that makes sense, that will continue to lead into business growth. And so you should let Phyllis do this, because if you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, we're so far away from Ruby, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this is totally doable. Yeah. And this is how you're going to do it. Yeah. So I would highly recommend that you take her up on that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. And so that the whole system of how to do that is in that video. If you guys spend time to look at it, you can embrace it and do it yourself, or I'm happy to sit down with you We can comb through that back office. Like Brooke did this with me in the beginning. She helped me understand my back office. She would go line by line. Like she would spend that time with me. I'm happy to do the same thing with you because I feel like that really helped me see what was in my back office instead of me doing this with my back office. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it. Don't show me those white lines. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So we looked at it and we embraced it. And so I'm just so grateful for Brooke and all of her tools she's given us. And I'm here to help like duplicate what she's showing us because I always said, oh, there you go. Looks like you got another treasure in there besides fish. At least it's not poop. I remember your poop stories. Oh, God. She had some devastating poop stories. Anyway, okay, what else do you guys have for Brooke? Okay. Thank you,
I
Brooke.
mean, are you guys excited?
Of course.
You should
Just-
be very excited. Very excited.
Just quick
And we have, oh, go ahead.
on so that from last Friday, is that in Ohana? I'd have to track it down.
It'll just be, I'll post a reminder in the accountability call
Okay.
on Friday. And I just have like a graphic. It's the same Zoom ID every week. And the link, do you have the link for the first video, Phyllis?
I can find it. I think I sent it to you guys individually, but I might have also put it in our Rank Up Rock Stars group. So just scroll back up on that and see if it's there. If it's not, throw the link in there. I also have the Zoom. I put it on my Friday. Every Friday, I wrote the Zoom number down, and I can I'll just throw it in the chat right now. The Zoom number, 2701 53327. I just put it on my planner so I don't ever lose it. Okay, there it is in the chat for the Zoom on Fridays, and it's at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's 9 a.m. for Brooke.
Yeah, I know it may not work for work and stuff, but we do record them, and we're just getting like super real. Like just telling you guys, because I had this epiphany like a month ago, and I was like, okay, so we have better products than we've ever had. We have a better compensation plan with a $199 packs. We have better welcome packs than we've ever had. We like everything is better. And I'm just not taking all the accountability I need to take for my organization and getting into my back office and being a boss with retention. And so I'm taking ownership of that because I understand that if I don't do that, how can I expect my team to do that? And so you can take that same ownership. Okay, if I don't do this, how can I expect my team to do it? Even as a gold, senior gold, Ruby ambassador, you know, as you start taking accountability for this and being like a boss with this, your team's going to do the same thing.
Yep, the white lines are big, and we don't have to offer them any money, you guys. I actually went back through, and I even went down to my level 2s, and I saw people that I was like, gosh, they love their product. What's going on? So I just reached out to them and said, hey, you know, I know that your original goal was whatever, and would love to get you restarted on the products. So that's what happened. So they said, you know what? I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And I'll place my order. So those were some of my white lines I was able to turn on at the end of the month last month. But I am working forward and attacking everybody because I still had 68 people under 100 PV ordered
Right.
last month. And that's like 68 times 5 or 68 times 4.5. That's a lot of money that we're missing out on.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot of people not getting all the results they want to get with their products or that they wanted initially.
Yeah.
And I think that when we start the conversation about their goals and their needs, and we're not just like, hey, here's $30 to order this month, it feels like we're invested in their goals. Because a lot of times, like Phyllis said, you don't have to offer an incentive. You know, sometimes it comes down to like, yes, you do have to, but I don't like to start the conversation with the incentive. I like to start the conversation about health and about their goals. And then if they do end up getting an incentive, it still feels different than me just going to them with money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're coming with your expertise now, because you guys have all been doing this a long time, and you can say, gosh, I was just new and I just didn't know how to support you well. But now that I've been doing this for so long, and like I tell people now, I can get anybody through die-off, not a big deal. I love that Brooke labeled it healing crisis, because that's exactly what it is. And maybe if they understood it with that terminology, it might make it seem a little more like, wow, I am healing and it is a crisis, but I know that I can get through it. So thank you, Brooke, for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Okay. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to just stop the recording. Appreciate you guys.